Welcome back to the podcast. I don't know what the name of this podcast is. It's just me yapping about life. The last few weeks have gone pretty, I don't know the right word. It's been a time for sure. It feels like I'm just kind of falling behind. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. It feels like I can't keep up with everything that's happening. And because of that, I get anxious thoughts. I become very I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to figure this out. Over time, it kind of starts to create a bit of weightiness on my mind, and it kind of leaves me feeling immobile. That's a good word. I feel immobile. I feel like I don't want to make any decision. I don't want to try anything because I'm afraid that I'm going to mess it up. But it feels like to get out of all of this, I need to try something and I need to do something to get out of it. And so it feels like I'm stuck in a loop. So pretty much I'm getting married in a few weeks, months, in 2 months, and we need to find a new place to live. And we've been searching so much for the perfect place. It's a little bit different because I film from home. So we want a space in the house so that my work can feel separated from our living. So I've worked in this room for the last 4 years, and my room now feels like an office and it doesn't really feel like a room. And I just knew getting married, I wanted to have that separated. I wanted a workspace and I wanted a living space, and I didn't want them to kind of get interconnected. So all that being said, we have been searching and searching, and it has been insanely hard. We've had so many opportunities and leads, and we've gone after them, and we've done everything that we can do. We've prepared all that we can do. And we present ourselves and we apply and all these things. And then an unforeseen circumstance comes and it pretty much derails that option or opportunity. And it's been going on for about 5 months, and we only have about 3 weeks left in our current situation. And it's starting to feel very I have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm a little bit nervous and I'm a little bit anxious. And, this weekend we had a place that was locked in, and then the guy texted us and he pretty much said he wasn't sure if he wanted to lease it anymore. And that left me and my fiance feeling very down and feeling very defeated. Defeated is a really good word. I felt very defeated this weekend. And it was funny because I was I want to do a podcast about this because I feel online you see all these people and it seems like their lives are perfect. And you're just man, how do they do it? And I was thinking about that, and I actually was I don't want to talk about this because it feels too personal. I don't really want to put it out in the ether. And then I was no, I want to be somebody that just is very honest and kind of just builds a community of people that are going through life and can kind of lean on each other. But yeah, I felt very defeated, and I wasn't really sure how to go about all of this, especially knowing that we don't have a place in a few weeks to live. And it feels like your world is kind of shaking and you're oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So it was funny because I kind of took some time to just be quiet and just go on a walk and think. And I was thinking about man, it seems like some people are just so happy in life. They get everything they want. And I feel I'm left reeling. I can't, I get so close and then it's gone. And I've been feeling that way about a lot of things in life. It's funny because my YouTube, I feel it's kind of going down. I don't know. It feels like my career, my creativity is feels like it's dwindling out. And I'm just uncertain about everything. And, I don't think that those things are I think everyone experiences that, no matter what it is, no matter where they work, no matter how successful or happy they are. I think people experience different seasons of life, of joy, of being really excited about something, and then also feeling very down. And sometimes our circumstances can add to that. So our circumstances can add to the happiness, or our circumstances can add to the down. Right now, it feels like my circumstances are adding to the down. And as I was walking, I was just kind of thinking about what do I do? What do I do in this situation, especially about to be married? It feels like it's not just me in this situation, it's both of us. There's two people that have to figure stuff out. And I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking about people that seem to be so happy and have everything together. And I just had this like thought where I was like, I feel like happiness in life is not predicated, I don't know if that's a word, but it's not decided by the good things that happen in life, but it's decided by how you respond in the bad times, which is such an interesting thought, because I feel like when there are good times and when you're happy and when you feel very at ease, you're very light. You're not thinking too much about the decisions you're making or how things are going. You're just kind of going through life. But when things are bad, you're very aware. You're very aware about the decisions you're making. You're very aware of what you lack. You're very aware of what you need. And sometimes we can react out of a place of lack and uncertainty, and we almost force things to happen opposed to going through things very like gently, which sounds funny being in this circumstance, but I'm somebody that used to be very like, things aren't going well, so I force things, especially things I want. A great example was in the beginning of my YouTube days, I really wanted to become big. I really wanted to have a big following. So I just pumped out videos. I was like, I'm going to force this thing to be. And then I went to a concert and I saw someone that really inspired me. And he kind of was talking about his process and how he slowed down and he kind of listened and he took time to process things, and he responded in that. And I was like, oh man, I should do the same with my creativity. And so I did. And it was funny because when I did that, things actually changed pretty dramatically. People started to really respond to what I was making, and it was really life-giving in a lot of ways. And, you know, it's funny kind of thinking about what I'm going through right now with housing, with planning for a wedding, with planning for my whole life changing, feeling very anxious through it all. It's like, what are the right decisions to make? Are there right decisions to make? And I don't know, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people get on these type of talks and they're like, you just have to show up. And actually I do believe that. I think you do have to keep showing up. It's funny that I was just digging that, but I'm realizing that is the best thing you can do, is to not try to, maybe I feel like I'm just talking to myself, but is to not try to do anything crazy, like not try to change anything and force things, but just keep showing up. You've gotten this far doing something. Continue to show up in that. Continue to show up in gratitude. Continue to show up in thankfulness. Continue to show up in generosity to the other people around you. And I also think when we go through these situations, it's a great moment to actually look at other people and to realize that I guarantee every single person is going through something, and us going through something hard almost gives us eyes and a heart to see others as they're going through things and to lend a helping hand, which is almost so countercultural to everything that the world is telling us right now of like, get money, do this, build this for yourself. It's like, how can we actually look to others and build them up and help them as we're going through a time of struggle? I think that's such a key to joy in life, actually. I know that with my anxiety, I deal with anxiety a lot with content creation, with where I'm going to live, with being a husband and being potentially a father in the future. It's like, how can I do that? You know, like, I feel like a lot of us will look in the mirror and we're like, I don't know if I'm capable of doing these things. But it's so cool because when you feel those ways and when you feel down, looking to others and helping them, I feel like is such a key to like reminding yourself of who you are and the kindness that you have. Yeah. Anyway, all that to say is like, I feel like in these seasons, it's just really important to think about how we respond. When I got the text from the landlord saying he might not want to lease to us, but he might want to keep it for personal use, I got pretty bitter, like pretty quickly. And I like, if my emotions were like a line, it just went so far down. And I remember my inner dialogue was like, I just feel like I keep losing. I feel like I can't get a win. I feel like I can't, yeah, I just feel like I'm like 10 steps behind and I don't know how to, I'm doing everything I can do and yet it's not good enough. And I think that's like, I think that's how we all feel in many ways. But I think what's important is to not dwell in those emotions. I remember my mentor used to tell me that if you look at a mountain, the peak, there's no life at the peak. There's no trees. Everything's actually dead because there's no air quality, or the air quality is really bad because it's thin and there's no sun and light, or all this stuff. But in the valleys, that's where there's water. That's where there's like vegetation. And I think in life, when we want to be at the peaks, but there's a lot of life in the valleys, right? And so I think with what I'm going through right now, it feels like I'm in a valley and I'm looking to get out of it. But instead of forcing it, slowing down and being like, okay, this is where I'm at. I've done everything I can do. And I need to be okay with that. And I need to, think about all that I have. And you know, I think thankfulness is the secret to life. Like, it's really hard to be thankful and upset at the same time. So when I got the text, I was really low. I was actually with a lot of friends. And I was just like, man, look at all these friends I have. We're playing tennis. The sun is shining. I have a full belly. I have a place right now I'm taken care of. I should be thankful instead of worrying about what's to come that hasn't even happened yet. It's so funny because I feel like there's no one watching this long. I just guarantee it. This is long and it's very personal and it doesn't really feel applicable to most people. But I think if you're still watching, it's probably because you're going through something that's hard and you can relate to the things that I'm saying. And I guess my encouragement to you would be just keep showing up. You know, I think about when I lived on the East Coast and it was cold and you'd wake up at 6 a.m. and it's dark and it's like raining and you have to go to work and you're just like, what am I doing? I think those are the people that are really strong. The people that wake up and they put their shoes on and they keep showing up. And I think that's a physical picture of things that happen. But I think if you reverse that, there's a lot of us that feel that way emotionally, where we wake up and it feels like everything's so down and dark and it's raining. We have to put our boots on and we have to show up. And I think that's really hard. And I don't know if there's an antidote to, if you do this, then immediately you'll feel this way. I don't think there is anything like that. But I think something I found out in my anxiety, in my worries, in my frustration when things don't go well, is not doing anything drastic, is not, you know, there's no opportunities here, so I'm going to go all the way over here and try something new. It's like that feels like I'm giving up. But what does it look like to show up in the middle of my mess and to be someone that people can rely on and trust? And it sounds very stoic, especially here when, you know, I'm just in my room and you're watching wherever. It sounds very stoic, but in the moment, it's like one of the most impossible things because you want people to take care of you. You want people to understand what you're going through. And I think it is important to share with people, like, I'm struggling, I need help. I think that's what I do. Actually, I've talked to like 3 or 4 people and I've just been like, hey, I'm struggling, I need help. We don't know what's going on with housing. And I just kind of explain the situation. They listen, and I think that is super important. But then being on the opposite end is not being someone that drags people down with you. But what does it look like to actually be strong in situations like this? Because I think what I've realized is good times come, bad times come, and they always cycle through. Life is just cycling through good times, cycling through bad times. And how we respond to those situations will kind of set us up for the next season of life. So I'm in this season where it just feels like everything is not working. I feel like I should be making YouTube videos and putting out content and trying to make more sales, especially as I'm getting ready to get married. And I just feel like I can't do any of that. I feel like I'm just hitting a wall. I feel burnt out. It feels like everything I've applied for has been denied. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, Sweet. I'm at the end of myself right now, and I don't know what to do. But I guess the only thing I can do is just keep showing up. So I think that's what I'm going to leave you with. No special like mantra of like, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But I guess an encouragement that you're not alone, that I'm going through hard things as well. And my encouragement to you and my encouragement to myself is whatever life is throwing our way, whether it feels very, very hard or sometimes just feels like life is off, just keep showing up. Yeah. And surprise yourself in that. But yeah, thank you guys. If you did make it this far, I genuinely want to know, leave a comment saying you're a part of the 5%, because this one is long and I just can't imagine that many people got this far, but I really appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.